have a history with chch,
Yeah, no
and
need
it's
to
not good.
apologize.
Like, even when I first moved here.
Okay. All right, let me just get this. So it stay right there, it'll be good. And I'm just gonna see if this works out here. That's good. Okay, perfect. Okay, so easiest question. Can you just say and spell your first and last name, please?
Oh yeah, it's Dave Sanders, Sanders.
Okay, great. And owner of
Renegade Tattoo Canada. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so yeah, I mean, easiest question, just straight off the bat first. Obviously, there's a talks today with the meeting tonight at 6 o'clock about the parking lots. The city wants to make them affordable, low-income housing. I've heard from people that they don't want that. What is your opinion on the parking lot and what you want?
Well, it's not that we don't want low-income housing. It's that we don't want it in the parking lot that supports all of the business on Kenilworth. Like, this is the only parking lot here, and it's not just my business that uses it. Like, the entire street uses it. We lose our parking, we lose our business. That's all there is to it. You know, they've already messed up the street out front. They've taken out parking spots. They've bottlenecked the traffic, trying to divert it away from Kenilworth and through the other streets. It didn't work. Okay, now it's just making traffic jams. It's causing accidents, and it's taken out parking from the front. Now they want to go in the back and they want to take the parking all the way out there. Like, I mean, there's no help for small businesses in this city.
For your business specifically, how much do you rely on that parking lot back there?
I rely on that parking lot at least 3 to 7 times a week. I get customers in from all over. Like, not Hamilton doesn't pay my bills. My customers come from everywhere, from the Niagara region up to Ottawa, into Manitoba. Like, I've had people come as far as BC. When they come, if they're driving down from places like Sudbury, like Haliburton, like Petawawa, they park back there. Okay, like, it's not like my clients come in to town and just use my services. They come in for a couple of days. So they end up either staying with people they know, or they rent hotel rooms. They go out and they see the other stores too. It's not that they're just in my shop and they go home, because my work takes longer than 1 or 2 hours, you know. So I'll have people that use that back parking lot for a couple of days on end. You know, it may not be consistent, but it is definitely needed, because they can't park out front. The parking meters run an hour at a time. If you put any more money than an hour in the parking meter out front, it takes it. And then you get ticketed because your time expires. So we have an hour limit out front. You got to stop what you're doing every hour just so that your client can run outside and put money in the meter. That's not fair either, you know.
And I mean, me just walking down the street, and you were saying to me before the camera that I've seen some closed businesses. You say this is kind of a rough area. With the businesses already, you know, already having a hard time in this area, how do you feel about the fact that the city wants to take away the parking lot?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't feel good right now. Like, that's ridiculous. Kenilworth has the highway access. Okay, we have a cutoff at this end of the highway. We have the mountain access at the other side. I don't know of any other setup like that. Okay, so anybody that's coming in from out of town is going to come down Kenilworth to go up the mountain. And it happens. Like, my street is non-stop all day. We've got at least 50 times more traffic on Kenilworth than there is on Ottawa, okay? And the first thing that people see when they come into this town is the worst part of town. Like all of the businesses are starting to close because our councillor does nothing for us except take their money. That's it. And that's the only reason they're putting this out back there, so that they can get kickbacks on the backroom deals that they make for these type of things. But when people enter Hamilton and they come down Kenilworth and they're seeing more and more businesses ending up closing, and empty buildings, and then you get people living in the stores, and that looks terrible. What's it make people think about the city? I mean, this street should be way more important than any of the other ones in the area, because we're the first thing that you see when you come into town, you know? Instead of destroying it, it should be built up. We should be supported here. You know, they even bump these things out They didn't put any type of seating or anything out there. It's just a big slab of concrete. You know, it could have been done so much differently. They could have put nice grass strips in or flowers or stuff like that. But no, they put big concrete jut outs that just impede the flow of everything. Plus, we've lost parking out front already because of this. Now we're supposed to lose all of our parking in the back. And then they want to make the lane out back into a street. When they do that, we're going to lose 5 feet in the area of easement of our properties where we park our cars. So now we have no parking too. You know, it's a no-win. And it's not just that. It's not just the fact that we're going to lose all of our parking. The bar down the street uses it constantly for fundraisers. And when they do, that whole parking lot is packed. The church across the street uses it every Sunday, every Wednesday. Like, we're talking anywhere from 30 to 40 people park back there. Okay? I lost my train of thought.
That's okay. I guess
you can cut that part.
Yeah. I guess the last question is, yeah, I mean, you just mentioned the church, the bar down there. Yeah, what are other people? I spoke with a few. They didn't want to go on camera. But what have you been hearing from other businesses, other people in the area?
I haven't heard one of them that supports it. I took a walk through the neighborhood back there to make sure people know, because that was another thing with the city. They sent out notices to select people. Not everybody around here got one. I didn't get one. I live upstairs here. I didn't get one for upstairs, and the salon that's attached to me didn't get one, okay? And we're all different address numbers. They sent one to my shop, and that's it. The Chinese restaurant didn't get one. A lot of the people in the back there didn't get one. So there's still a lot of people in this neighborhood that don't even realize what they're planning on doing to us. When they put that in the back, it's supposed to be a 3-level, 54 units of 1-bedroom apartments. So there's no way they can say that they're trying to help families. It's not a family thing, okay? When they put the 3-story building back there, they're going to be adding 54 toilets, 54 showers, 108 sinks, because you usually have the kitchen and the bathroom sinks. This area's infrastructure will not support something that's that big of an addition, you know? So we're already having problems with our sewage down here. Look at Wilson, where Wilson just flooded the other day.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's going to end up happening here. Not to mention that the property values do drop. All the people in the back, like, they're going to lose all their privacy. You got a 3-story low-income house looking right over top of your backyard with your swimming pool or your barbecue area. How is that fair to anybody? You know, this parking lot was just repaved not long ago by Sam Morella, a councillor that actually did something for this street. We used to have wreaths at Christmas time. We used to have Christmas trees out front. The new councillor did absolutely nothing for us. Yet Ottawa Street got a whole whack of new upgrades and beautiful stuff, you know. This is the first street that you see when you come into town. Why is it not being taken care of like that? Like, the businesses on this street have so much potential, but we get killed. Like, they do everything that they can to make sure that we do not survive here. I don't know if that's because they want to develop it, like they're doing out back, but it's just not right. Sam Morella had that parking lot repaved, all new parking machines and everything put in. Like, that, how do you justify spending all of that tax money? There's a place right down at Ottawa and Cannon that has a parking lot where the potholes have become so big that they're sinkholes now. I don't even like driving my Jack Jeep in there, you know, it's so bad. Why don't they build it there? It's more feasible because that lot is right next to the road. They don't have to create another street. They don't have to steal land from the people that own land here to make that street. The infrastructure is already right there, you know. It's a much smaller project to build that unit on that, and because they're already going to have to redo that whole parking lot. So, I mean, there's much more sensible areas to put this. You don't slap a low-income housing unit in an area where the businesses aren't geared to low income. Like, we have 2 convenience stores here. They're extremely overpriced, you know, low income. I know, because I used to be low income. Like, I've lived broke my whole life. And you can't shop at the convenience stores. You don't come into the tattoo shop. You don't go to the hobby shop to buy the expensive models. You don't get your hair dyed, you know? Like you do all that, you don't even go to the bar. So the bar's gonna lose out. The low income does not help the neighborhood. It only helps 54 people that end up not respecting the building as much as they should. And the building ends up deteriorating. Like I've seen it in many areas that I've lived over my life. The low income always becomes ghetto, you know? And that's really not what we need for Kenilworth. Kenilworth is a beautiful street. It's got so much potential. I mean, I've been doing this for 32 years, and this is where I chose to set up my longest standing shop, you know? And I'm looking at moving. Like I'm thinking about leaving Hamilton because of all of the bull that I have to put up with the city council. It is the worst city in Ontario to open a small business.
Yeah. So what I'm getting is that Kenilworth, you want it to be built up, and adding this low-income housing, parking-wise, just logistically, will mess with the businesses on the street because there's no parking really here, and especially for your business where people need to be here for more than 10 minutes or an hour, and you're concerned that the building or the people that will be at the building will not be the best people to live here and develop Kenilworth.
No, there will be no development in Kenilworth. I don't want to come off as an asshole. Like I understand that we do have a massive housing crisis, okay? And we do need this. But we need small business more than we need a big unit back there, you know? It's the small business. I pay the extortion tax for my business from Hamilton every year. It's my business license that's not applicable to any other business here. Like there's very few businesses that actually have to buy a business license, but I do. And I do it every year. We pay our taxes, you know. We actually take care of this street. I'm the one that's out there cleaning it every single day. The plow comes by and knocks over the flower planters. It's me and my guys that fix it, not the city, you know. The city does almost nothing for us here, and it's getting ridiculous. And then when we turn around and we try to bring this stuff up, we're just shrugged off. They're not having a meeting tonight for us to give our input. They're having a meeting tonight for them to tell us that this is going into our parking lot. That's the way that form was written. And it was written in a manner that's a little bit deceiving because it seems like we have some input at this meeting, but we don't. It's literally them to tell us their plans of how they're going to ruin our parking lot, you know, and it's not fair. It isn't. We have no say in this at all.
Yeah. That's actually one question I'm going to ask the counselor, if I get to talk to her today, is how much does this meeting tonight, will council be actually looking at what people said at that meeting, and will they consider it?
Well, it depends on if she even shows up. It's not even her that sent the letter out. Yeah. It was some planning lady that's a real top-notch girl, because I called and left a message there, and I was told that I'm not allowed to use the word ghetto because it's their remedy to the housing solution, is what she told me. There's no difference. It turns into a ghetto, you know. It's all low-income housing, and it's nothing against those people. Like, a business area is not the area to put that. There's many more places around that are open and unused.
Okay, perfect. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'll bring up the rest of it at the meeting tonight.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for giving your opinion. Really valuable. Obviously, won't be able to use the whole entire thing, but I will.
Don't cut it to make me look like an asshole.
Definitely not.
Like it's not right. We need the media's help.
Yeah.
And you guys have been fucking us for so long. It's not funny. Okay.
Hopefully, I can be different and hopefully restore your faith a little bit, at least in me.
Like that third lockdown thing was bullshit. Mm-hmm. I gave all the reporters, not just chch. Yeah. I gave everybody that phoned me a decent interview with proof and backing from the Reopening Act that I was in the right and that the city was in the wrong. And I still got portrayed as the bad person, as the grandma killer, and I lost a lot of business because of it, you know, and that's not right.
Yeah. See, I could see that being a story, even as just, you know, however many years since the pandemic, like the people who you know, because we always talk about people who, you know, were affected obviously just because of the pandemic.
Well, I deserve a follow-up story on that because
Yeah.
you guys portrayed me as a fucking criminal. I wasn't. I was following the rules.
Yeah.
I took it to the court. I had Rebel News back me. They paid for my fucking lawyers. They were so they were so behind me. And when we got to court, the judge said, "Let's start this trial," and the fucking prosecution says, "No, we have to withdraw it because we have no chance of conviction." You know, so it was withdrawn. It wasn't even I didn't even have to win it. So I deserve, along with some of the other businesses that were put through that, at least a follow-up where we can turn around and say, we're not the assholes that you made us out to be. You know, like what I was doing was trying to feed my daughter. I got tired. I lost everything, because I wasn't allowed to earn. Restaurants were allowed to open up their door and sell at the door. Takeout, okay? All the other businesses, fucking Walmart was allowed to have people in it, you know? But me, a place where it's specifically designed to be clean, you know, there's no chance of a cross-infection in my place. There's not one case of COVID that led back to my shop. Yet I'm the one that's closed, and I'm the one that gets fined when I'm trying to feed my daughter, you know? I lost everything. I have no savings left because 2 years, my ink, this is a big point I tried to make to them. My ink cost me tens of thousands of dollars. When I open a bottle of ink, I have 30 days to use it. And then it separates to the point where it's no longer safe for the client. So I have to throw it out and replace it. The first lockdown, they told me you're going to close for, 7 days or 2 weeks?
I think,
It's going to be 2 weeks, and it was 6 fucking months. Every single bottle of open ink had to be thrown out, okay? And then, guess who had to buy it all again? Me. I got no subsidies. I got no small business payment. Like they made such a big fucking show of we've got you. I didn't qualify for housing benefits. I didn't qualify for anything. Nothing I got from the COVID relief. So everything that I had to do was out of my pocket. And then they let us run for almost 30 days. And they say, oh no, you got to close for another week or two. And that ended up being another 6 months to 8 months, you know? So that 10 grand that I just spent on my ink all went back in the fucking garbage. By the third time of replacing my inks, I was at the point where I don't have the money to do it anymore. I have to stay open. And they come down and they literally surrounded my building for 7 days. They had the police out there. They had, at one point, 15 bylaw officers standing around, lined up, breaking that rule, lined up, trying to get into my fucking place. Okay, I had a sign on my window that said, for appointments, please call, and then my shop line. When they came up and started banging on my door, I'd unlock it because it wasn't open to the public. I'd unlock it and I'd tell them, call me and make an appointment as per Reopening Act. And then I close the door. And oh no, they're above that. They don't have to follow the rules, so they're gonna fucking stand outside my place for 7 days, each day giving me more and more and more fines. And then the Sunday, I got video of them from my neighbor across the street. I'm not even in here. And there's 3 of them out there kicking on my fucking door, trying to get in here. And I'm upstairs in my apartment yelling at them, fuck off, I'm closed. Come back Monday, call and make an appointment, and I'm more than willing to talk to you. But follow the fucking rules that we have to follow. They refuse to. Like, it was fucking ridiculous, man.
And I wasn't, I'm just glad I wasn't here, I wasn't at CH at the time. I think I got here, 2022?
Well, you can look back and see whoever the fuck called me. And
I'm gonna look.
She was a little twat waffle, man, because I sat there for over an hour and a half talking to her, proving that I was not doing anything wrong and that I was a good person. And all I got from that was, oh, Mr. Sanders thought he had the right to be open, but was mistaken. I wasn't mistaken, obviously, because I didn't pay any of their fucking fines. Not even the $1 million one that they put me with.
So for this story today, I'm going to... Actually, I'll put your chair back here.
I got even more, though. I got even more for you.
You
should do a full fucking exclusive on me, because when I moved to Hamilton, that's when my trouble started. Because I moved my shop from Petawawa to Ottawa Street.
Right.
So I know exactly how it works on Ottawa Street. Okay, and I was there for 4 years. I moved my business 7 hours away. I had nothing here, and I built it from nothing. Okay, and when I moved here, I went through the process of contacting the city. Like my ex had lived here already. She was pregnant with my daughter. Okay, so she went out and she found a location for me on Ottawa. Great place. Okay, now I called. I came down. I rented the place. I put some of my stuff, like not all of it. Put some of my stuff in with a big sign that said "Coming Soon." Okay, not open. Coming soon.
Yes.
And went back up the pet the next day. My ex goes over to clean, and she finds fucking tickets on the door from the bylaw. Putting a sign up without our permission, and running a business without our fucking extortion license.
But it was coming soon.
So I called the city from Petawawa, and I asked them, what the fuck is this? Because St. Catharines I was in, no city license. Pembroke, no city license. Petawawa, no city license. And all of those places don't charge me for a health board inspection either, because the health board is provincial, not municipal. Okay? So now I move here, and they're telling me, no, you need a city license. And I'm like, what the fuck is a city license? I've never dealt with that before. Well, you gotta have this. I said, okay, well, is there a test I have to take to prove I can tattoo to get this license? No, you give us this money. So I'm like, okay, and then they says you gotta get zoning papers. So I said, how do I do that? They walked me through it. They charged me an extra $500 to expedite it. I got my papers. I sent them to the girl at City Hall and said, now, is everything all right? And she looked at everything and said, yes, you're good to go. Move your business down here. April 1st, you'll be able to open as long as you come to City Hall and give us our extortion fee. So I went to City Hall to give them the extortion fee, and they turned around and said, oh, no. You have to now pay to rezone this building. To rezone the building from whatever the fuck they had in their computer that was being to personal service establishment. Meant that on the website, it said I had to provide an aerial floor plan of the building. I learned how to make them in school because I went to school before they fucked up the education system. I know how to make a floor plan, so I made one. I submitted it. The guy says, oh, no, that's not good enough. Change this. So I changed it. 4 of them. I put in 4 different floor plans, and I changed them according to their, oh, it's not good enough. So now you have to go out and hire a BCIN registered architect at $5,000 minimum to do 2 floor plans and then write nothing to change on them. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Why do I have to pay $5,000 for that? You know, and then I have to pay $500 or 10% of all renovations. There's no renovations being done, so I have to pay $500 just to apply for the zoning verification. And if they don't do it, I don't get my money back. Okay? So I fought with them, and I was in meetings with the idiot managers and this and that, and they're all telling me, you're right. Like, you're falling through a crack here. This shouldn't apply to your business. Yet I ended up in court. They still fucking came in 8 months after I moved here, after they refused to give me this until I paid thousands and thousands more. Okay? They took me to court because I had to open my fucking doors and I had to make money. So I ended up getting charged over $2,500 for not having their stupid business license. I did not get the zoning done, but the next day the fucking building inspector showed up and said, oh, I heard you had some problems. Come on down to City Hall, we'll waive all that zoning shit, and you just give us our extortion fee and we'll leave you alone. So what the fuck? Why did I have to go to court then? When they could have just waved their magic wand and said, okay, well, just give us our extortion fees and we'll shut the fuck up. You know, that's since day one. And then from there, I ended up with the BIA. I found out that there's a BIA on that street, and that 37 at that point in time, I don't know what it's up to now, but at that point in time, $3,700 a year was coming out of my landlord's taxes, well, it was added to, sorry. My landlord's land taxes for my unit. Not for the building, for each fucking business unit in the building. So now my rent is $3,700 a year more because he's not going to cover that. Okay? And then I'm paying into this BIA, and when I moved here, I was told by them that their job is to help the new businesses set up and be prosperous.
Yeah.
Not one fucking bit of help. Not one bit of help from them. They turn around and they bring food trucks down the street. And
Right.
when me and a couple of the other businesses, like Bounty Hunter,
Yeah.
on the street, turned around and said, look it, man, this is ridiculous. Like, we have a whole street full of beautiful restaurants here. You know? You guys are taking food trucks from Toronto and from Niagara, and you're bringing them and you're parking them right out front of these businesses, you know? Like, how do you think that that's helping us at all? All it's doing is bringing a massive amount of people down to the street that are not there for our service.
Yeah.
They're there for the food trucks. And then they get the food from the food trucks after standing in line for an hour, and they walk through the businesses and they leave their garbage all over our shops and everything, you know? None of the restaurants make any profit that day.
Yeah.
None of them.
No,
And
I
it's
can't
supposed
imagine.
to be supporting. So when we try to tell them this in an educated manner, like, this is what happened and it hurt us. Oh, you're blacklisted. Don't talk to Renegade. Don't talk to Bounty Hunter, but just pretend. When they come up, smile and pretend that you're listening to them.
Right.
And I got a hold of that list. That went fucking viral. You might want to look back on that too.
Sure.
Because the guys that were running the BIA were axed real quick after that one.
Yeah.
You know, that was just another scam. I can give you 13 years of dealing with this fucking city.
Yeah.
And it's been ridiculous. Like, to the point where I'm about to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm not, like, my main business isn't from Hamilton.
Yeah.
I've traveled around all of Ontario and my clients come from all over the place.
Right.
So I'm actually improving Hamilton by bringing people here. You know, I'll bring them to fucking St. Catharines. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's only half an hour down the highway and I don't have to pay for these fucking extortion fees and stuff,
Yeah.
man. You know, like, they don't give back to anybody that
Right.
fucking helps.
Right.
I've done co-ops here. Like, I try to help with the schools. I go in and I try to I give speeches and I've worked with AIDS Niagara doing different speeches and shit to try to educate the public. I try to give back as